Yo, 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 yo. What is up? What is up? I hope everyone's having a good night. I actually meant to stream obviously yesterday, but that didn't happen. We're gonna try and do this today. Um, and there's a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty this week with the Philadelphia. Let me know if you guys could hear me well. Um, I have to get a new clamp because my mic boomstick thing ended up breaking the other day. I've had it for a long time, so I guess it was time that it was going to fall apart. Let me know if you guys can actually hear me like this. This way we're coming in clear. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a good night. So, what are the Eagles going to do this week? I mean, the Eagles are getting much healthier, which is good. Avonte Maddox could be back this week, but there's no certainty. They might sit him out another week. He needs to get some playing time as soon as possible. So, it is what it is, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Having Zach Cunningham coming back, Nicholas Morrow, I think should be back this week. So, definitely, Eagles are getting healthier, but this offense and the play calling, and I mean, really, when you look at it, take away a couple of really take away from the Giants game, at least, if you take away the Dallas Goedert slip for the pick six, and if you take away the kick return bullshit that happened when Zacchaeus ran to Boston Scott, I mean, that's 14 points easily off the board. But I feel like there's just still a lot of work to do. I feel like it's they feel as if DeAndre Swift just can't. They get no juice from him, and I gotta say, like, I thought Swift. I mean, we've probably talked about this a million times, because I kind of said to myself, you know what? Every time DeAndre Swift runs with the football, they get into such a great rhythm. I think Jalen Hurts gets into a perfect rhythm with this offense when he's in there. And I don't know. I thought Shaq Leonard played really good. I thought a lot of guys, the younger guys, Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo at this point is another player that's doing pretty damn. Didn't allow a pass last week. Did really good the last 2 weeks. I feel like with Matt Patricia, we're starting to explore a little bit more. We're giving up more of the big play now. It's unfortunate. I mean, I could put a lot of blame on our safety for not covering, Reed Blankenship for not covering, Slayton on that big play. Sorry, I just had a big brain fart there on names. There's some things that are still kind of messy, but I don't know. I mean, right now you're going for second seed. I mean, the Eagles have second seed right now. So we'll see. So obviously I'm here tonight. If you guys have any questions about anything, for us to explore anything that I haven't covered, or maybe there's a question or something I haven't answered yet, or I don't know, just talking about football in general with the Eagles and what we think they're going to do. It's what it is. It's what it is. But I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We got Bleeding Green. What's going on, man? Nathan, EC1. What's going on? Bloody Shot. I hope I had a good Christmas, man. I hope you did too as well. Chris Bryan says we need to dismantle Gannon. Yeah, I really want to, I know Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's being really open about, I understand he just want him to win here. Obviously, he's, Gannon coming into the building. After all that happened last year, kind of crazy. Ridiculous says, Joey, I got Eagles fever up my ass, bro. Still going to win the Super Bowl. Dude, I respect the optimism, and I get it. For me, I don't know what's going to happen here. You're not facing any more great teams the rest of the season. Arizona and the Giants are the only two games you have left, and then I think most likely, I think if you get the second seed, and that really depends on what Detroit does. If Detroit wins out and the Eagles win out, Eagles will get fifth seed. If Detroit loses against Dallas or loses one of the last two games, then the Eagles will get second seed. We're not going to get first seed at this point. I don't know with Brock Purdy and his injury, but the loss to Seattle kind of screwed us up on that, and obviously losing to the 49ers screwed us up as well. So those two games, especially the Seattle game, is going to haunt us for not getting first seed, because if the Eagles won against Seattle, then we'd be in really good spirits right now of already having that first seed already locked up and hopefully ready to go. But that is not happening. Second seed, you face the worst seed in the conference, so that's fine. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. What's going on, Willis? We got 5-star. What's going on, man? We got Walt. Walt says, "Do you really feel we are one and done in the playoffs? Or do you think we could pull it together?" It really depends. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I feel like this team does things right and they do a lot of things wrong. I feel like they sample size certain things. Like I feel like there's certain things that they do that actually works, and then they kind of stray away from it. And I think that's been one of the big problems this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm not really sure. I don't want them to be one and done. They've had if they face Seattle, they probably have a really good chance to win against them. But I don't know what game plan they're going to have going into Seattle, or if they get second seed, whatever the case may be with that. So if they get fifth seed, then we'll figure it out. But I don't know. It really depends on the coaches, to be honest, and where these players are put in certain positions to win football games. So Renegade says, I hope you're doing well and good health, man. Your mic sounds fine. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, I have to get a new clamp. I have the boomstick. I have to get a new clamp. My clamp just broke off the table. Like it just broke the other day. So it's kind of been crazy. Thomas says it's really embarrassing that these last few games are not locks for us. I mean, yeah. I mean, of course they could lose. I mean, it's if they fumble away like the second seed, then I don't know what's going to happen at this point. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. Jeremy, what's going on, man? So Nick has already lost the locker room. He's a yes man trying to act tough while he does whatever Howie and Jeff and the ladies and the analytics department say, and players don't respect fake tough guy. I could tell that Sirianni is still saying the same stuff every week, and I don't know. I feel like his temper is getting a lot worse, and I know he's trying to get as much out of his players, but I feel like he is getting worse by the week. I'm hoping things do turn around, but I obviously know that there's control from the front office to obviously Nick Sirianni, and that's definite, man. And I totally agree with some of that, We got Kirk Atkins. What's going on, man? He says people need to just sit back and realize the 22 Eagles are different from the 23 Eagles. Yes, this version has flaws, but they do have 11 wins, chance to repeat the NFC East. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have them losing the division, to be honest. Like, if you can't win these last two games, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to lose the division. You're going to get a playoff game and hopefully not go, one and done. That's what I'm hoping. Yes, last year is much different. The Eagles were a more explosive offense. We had a defense that was giving life to offenses in second halves of these games last year, which, the Eagles could have won by 2-3 touchdowns last year, almost not every game, but most games. The defense was the problem. Even though they were playing well, they were just playing too much off the ball at times. And you had a defensive line that got after it, had pressure, had sacks. I mean, we're only getting like one sack a game at this point. It's not much. We're not getting much. Even that Giants game, one sack on Tommy DeVito. I mean, you're not running stunts. You're not blitzing. I mean, you're not even running stunts at this point. You're literally lining these guys up. You're lining these guys up basic and just telling them to attack. I mean, that's all they're doing at this point, and it's just not good enough. You know what I mean? Ridiculous says Ravens put out the blueprint on Purdy. Foreigners have just got to watch the tape. Yeah, and you know what I mean? They're dealing with some injuries. I heard that Purdy has like some type of a stinger that's probably not as bad. But you know what happened the last time that they dealt with injuries? They lost 3 straight. So if the 49ers lose another game, which I highly doubt it, I mean, they got to face the Rams, which the Rams have a good shot, I guess, maybe with an injured 49ers team right now. But I'm not sure. And I think they have Washington the last game. So maybe those. So that's the team I seen some 49er fans worried about the Rams. So y'all got a shot, Joey? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a shot. I mean, look, like they were embarrassed. I mean, they were totally embarrassed. And then they'll talk about the Ravens and they'll hope to God that the Ravens are put on their schedule next year. And then they'll go through a whole thing where, they're going to hold a grudge for the whole entire year. And that's it. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you right now, like right now at this moment of time, The Eagles are not ready to beat San Francisco. The Cowboys are not ready to beat San Francisco. We're not ready to beat nobody's ready to beat San Francisco. There's not one team out there that can beat them. Detroit can't. No, none of these teams. Seattle can't. None of these teams can. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Torville says, Gann probably knows the Eagles' tendencies for analytics and our coaches and realize to do the same thing over and over, so this game will be close. Yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray is like my number one guy that I'm worried about because the Eagles can't cover the screen game. The Eagles cannot cover the screen game ever. They're the worst team. And Kyler Murray could run on us easily. I can't even imagine facing Baltimore right now with Lamar Jackson. I think the Eagles have been horrible against quarterbacks in scramble drills. So that's like the number one player I'm worried about. Never mind the weapons and what they have. And it's nothing too fancy, too fantastic. But, Gannon's defensive line, I got to say this, and this is true. As much as that team looks bad, that pass rush from Gannon is really good over there. Really good. They know how to rush the quarterback over there, and that's like the blueprint on Jalen Hurts. Rush him on his left side and just make him bail out make him bail out to the right. And it's mostly going to be incomplete every single time. You know what I mean? Jonah says, what's going on, man? Swift is only 12 yards away from hitting 1,000 yards, rushing for the first time in his career. That's amazing, though. I mean, you're going to have another. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, though. No bad team has 2 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard running back. Like, to do that 2 years in a row with 2 wide receivers, the same wide receivers, and a new running back behind, it's credit to the offensive line and Jeff Stalin, no doubt. But this is, come on now. You know what I mean? No bad team gets 2 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard running back. Swift would have been a top 2 running back this year, no doubt. He shouldn't be top 5. He shouldn't be the 5th best running back in the league. What does he have? 216, 212 carries for the year. It's kind of nuts. Tuesday Swan says, Joey, how bad can our team really be? I'm kind of torn. A lot of us complain about these past 3 losses, but then again, we can beat the Chiefs, Bills back-to-back, and Dolphins by double digits. Yeah, I mean, it's been a different game. A lot of the gauntlet games, like the Miami game was probably going to the gauntlet, really. I think the Miami game was really the best-looking one out of all of them. Jalen Hurts putting the team on his back, and, you were playing the same way every single game. Like, I'm just saying, like, they made no adjustments to the first half of these games. Just imagine the amount of points they would have put on a lot of these teams this year, and just a lot of missed opportunity too. So, I don't think this team is bad offensively at all. I just think the coaching is hurting it tremendously. I think some positions are flawed right now, but the production's there, but it's just not good enough. It's not good enough at all. B. Philly says, what up, Joey? Have you seen the route trees for each receiver past few games? It will blow your mind. If you could pull it up on Next Gen Stats website, I'm sure that chat would like a reaction. I saw that. I think we ran like one slant yesterday. Then we just run like one slant the other day, or one pass to the middle yesterday or something like that. I don't know what it was. But that one to Devontae Smith was a great pass. Great play, putting him on the inside like that, having Julio on the outside. Yeah, I mean, it's comeback and curl routes. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, it's not much. I don't get, like, you have a quarterback that extends plays on his feet multiple times. I think Jalen Hurts sometimes bails out too early, bails out to the right, and does the same shit as usual. But these receivers have to get open or something. I mean, I'm looking down. I mean, guys are still running routes by the time Jalen Hurts is going to throw a ball. I mean, I don't get it. And then he has to kind of run outside the pocket at that point. Rogue 7 Dragon said, this play calling is horrible. All year offensive defensive scheme is garbage. If Nick is too stubborn to see it and change it, then he needs to go. I'm done. Keep only the offensive line coach. And this is the problem. It's not all Nick Sirianni. Who's letting him do this? It's Howie Roseman. I'm telling you right now, Howie Roseman is not going to get fired. But Howie Roseman is going to have to change before Nick can change, okay? Nick is allowed to do this, and seems like there's nothing going on behind the scenes where he's really changing a lot up right now. I mean, the tempers are up there. I mean, you saw what he did on the sideline, which I won't make a big deal about that. But, when you do it multiple times in a game, it kind of sucks at times. to see that. But, Chris says, hey, guys, let's hit like the live. Appreciate it so much, Chris. So it said Gannon went to Arizona. Suddenly he calls blitzes because he's allowed to there. That's kind of tells us that it is the front office here that is putting a philosophy on coaches. I think you're 100% correct on that. I honestly think you're 100% correct on that. I think the Eagles are controlled. I think the coaches are controlled by the front office has control on the philosophy that they do for both sides of the football. And it's not right, dude. And trust me, I've been since we lost to the 49ers, I've been as truthful as I possibly can when it comes to this team and where we're at, and I still don't like what we're doing. I feel like it's very fixable. It's very, very fixable, but people have got to let go of certain things here when it comes to this offense. And there's no quick passes. Everything takes too long to develop. I liked in the beginning of that Giants game where they just gave it to DeAndre Swift and said, just fuck it. Just give it to him. You know what I mean? Just aggressively just give him the football. It wasn't one of those read options where Hurts is going to keep it or give it to – it was like, we're going to run it down your fucking throats. That's what they did that first series, which I absolutely loved. And then they put it more on Jalen Hurts to make his own decision. And then you're passing with him way too much. The more times Hurts passes the ball and tries to make these decisions, mistakes are going to be made. It's a regressing year for Jalen Hurts. There's no doubt. Regressing doesn't mean that he's going to be like that the rest of his career. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he showed a lot this year. But the issue I'm having is why aren't they helping him? Why aren't they having a sustained run game? I mean, it makes no sense to me why. And when they give the ball to Swift, he gets a big first down. I swear it's like a fast-paced offense and the rhythm between the passing. Like Hurts is just a million times better after a successful run. It's always like that. It's always like that. I don't get it. Let's see. Nate says, only one I remember is Smitty's slant without the 30-yarder. No shit, AJ doesn't want to talk. Yeah, you know what, dude? I don't blame AJ Brown for not talking. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't even care. Like, what else is there to fucking say? Like, Devontae Smith is just like, we're not happy with the way this offense is right now. They're not happy. Smith is not happy. Why does AJ Brown have to speak to anybody? I mean, seriously, what else is there to say? The offense looks like shit the last 3 weeks. Still looked like shit against the Giants. And I understand that just because they win against the Giants, yeah, sure, like take 14 points off the board for stupid mistakes, a slip and fall by Goddard, and obviously that stupid fucking kick return. That was probably one of the most embarrassing plays of the season so far. The favoritism on Kenneth Gainwell being in so much, and he had a good game, but you got to put the better back in at certain points. And I feel like they put DeAndre Swift inside the 20s, between the 20s, okay? And teams automatically know it's going to be a run. It's going to be a pass call. It's already going to be a pass. I mean, I feel like teams already have figured us out, literally. So it is what it is. So for the people that say trade AJ Brown, shut the hell up, blessed that we have him and Devontae Smith, the best duo in the league since 2014. You're not going to do that ever again. No, I think Eagle fans need to be very. Eagle fans don't know how good they have it right now. I know we're bitching about coaching, and that's like the most that we're bitching about right now. But to have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, a lot of teams don't have that. And unfortunately, these coaches keep fucking this shit up with the amount of talent that we have. You have 2 number 1 receivers on your football team right now. I mean, literally. Devontae Smith is going to get an extension next year. I mean, he's a homegrown talent. He's going to get an extension. There's no doubt about it. It's going to happen. AJ Brown has 1 more year left on his deal, I think. Or 2 years, I think. Because last year was his rookie deal still. Last year was still his rookie deal. So I think he's got 3 more years here from because I know last year was his rookie deal and it was cheap. So he was done the last year of that deal. Lathad says, look at what Denard Whistler's doing. Baltimore with that defense. You should be doing that in Philly. Just wanted to make a couple tweaks. Lurie and Roseman are control freaks. That is true. Yeah, Denard Wilson might be. I mean, even Deuce Staley might be somebody that, kind of got away from us. I don't know what he would have done for the offense. So, you know, Ryan says we're wasting the talent that we have. Why would Smith stay in this trash offense? Smith's going to stay because there's no such thing as loyalty in the NFL. But I can't. Well, that's why they're going to extend him next year. They're not going to wait till he's a free agent. He's eligible. He's eligible next year for an extension. So I feel like, yeah, he will get extended. This is your homegrown talent. I mean, he's got to re-sign. Frono Jojo says, how you put Bradbury over Ringo and Slay comes back. Yeah, I mean, that's what I really want. They better not bench Ringo when Slay comes back. That's all I got to say. Because I'll be pissed off. I will be pissed. I hope that doesn't happen. Jaden Christ says, there's really nothing for AJ to say in this offense struggling, and a good chunk of the reason is Howie's control over Sirianni. However, it's a good thing we won this game just to keep grinding. Yeah, I mean, this was one of those, like, let's get into the right direction. Let's put ourselves in a good direction right now, and do our thing. I mean, that's what I kind of took from it. So, we'll see. Anthony, what's going on, Andy? Says, one's got to go, Smith or Brown. It's going to be Brown, because Devontae Smith is the homegrown. You always want to keep your homegrown talent. You always want to keep the guy that you drafted. And not against AJ Brown. Like, I don't care, like, guys that are more vocal. I like guys that are vocal. That's just me. But Devontae Smith is a pure, really good professional, and he was drafted here. I think they're going to keep both those guys in the building. I feel like they're going to re-sign AJ Brown, and I don't think it's going to be for as much money as he first got. But with the statistics that he has right now, it's going to be really hard to not sign him for even more money at this point. Because I know AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are best friends. There's a lot involved. He's not just a good receiver here and it doesn't know anybody personally. I think the good thing about it is, like, if he goes to Hurts, say, hey, like, I'll take a little bit of less pay, but I'll play, on a big contract, but just not the contract I had last year. Maybe something can happen right there. We'll see, but we'll figure it out when the time comes. Let's see here. One sack is pathetic. Yeah, it is pathetic. It really is. You're not running stunts. You're not blitzing. It's crazy. Dual threats of the coaches lost last year's Super Bowl. They're not good enough. They then come back with worse coaches. The team lacks talent. They can't cover anyone. The D-line can't get pressure. Things lost. Yeah, Nick wanted to keep both schemes for the offense and the defense. The offense, we thought we were going to have the same scheme, but apparently not. We're not running the football enough. We're not. And defensively, like I said, like, it's the scheme sucks. And unfortunately, because of the tampering situation with Jonathan Gannon last year, Vic Fangio was supposed to be our defensive coordinator last year. I mean, it was going to happen. It was 100% going to happen. And it never did, unfortunately. So John says, hey, Joey, you think we can still get the 1 seed? It just depends on the Niners and the Eagles, what the Eagles do. If the Eagles went out and the Niners lose, the Niners have to lose another game. They have to lose another game. They have the Rams and they have Washington. And the Rams is like the best bet right now. And depending how, I know they're both for their left tackles are hurt right now. They have a couple guys on defense hurt. So Brock Purdy has the stinger injury, and I don't think it's that serious, but I think it's a little, he still has one. But they would have to lose another game because the Eagles didn't win against the Niners, because the Eagles lost against Seattle. That Seattle game fucked us over for first seed, because if the Eagles won that Seattle game and then won this Giants game, they would have first seed right now. They would have it in the bag because of conference wins. They would have it already. So at this point, it's going to be second or fifth seed. And I hope they get second seed so they can play Seattle again in the playoffs. Let's see. Tommy says, we know of Howie's willingness to be a part of this team as much as possible, but we should blame him or Nick more. It's going to be both of them. I mean, I'm blaming Howie in the front office more to allow like they have control over the scheme and who should be subbed in and who should have more playing time and what should be called at this point. When you run your offense by analytics, it's just like, you don't have a feel for the game. You don't know what your identity is. Like the identity for me of what the Eagles should be doing is the run game should be first. The Eagles should be running this offense through DeAndre Swift, which opens the big pass plays. And I think it definitely works because Hurts just looks better and more natural that way. Troy says, I just don't get the logic of the defense or particularly help create turnovers, yet we want to run a predictable scheme and make easy completions. Yeah. And part of the scheme is not giving up big plays, which since Matt Patricia's taken over, we've given up some big plays the last couple games. Need to fix that. Can't do that anymore. But I feel like we're getting a lot of production from young players. I think Eli Ricks is starting to show out. Keely Ringo is really starting to turn out as a number 2 guy. I think Keely Ringo has, I mean, it's been 2 games and look fantastic. I mean, now they're just aiming at Bradbury all day. Bradbury's getting smoked. I mean, totally smoked. Hey, Rockstate says we got rid of guys that were crucial to the rotation. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Chris says, wait, didn't AJ sign? Yeah, he signed an extension last year, but last year was the last year of his rookie deal last year. So last year, he was actually part of the Titans, his last year with the Titans, that last year deal that he was supposed to have with them last year. He signed a 3-year extension. So he's got, 2 more years left with this team. 2 more years. And then Devontae Smith is due an extension in a couple years. So he's open for one next year, and I feel like they'll get something done. Nate says, Smitty blown kiss to the crowd is awesome. Appreciates defending the players in this meltdown. Oh, yeah, dude, of course. And he's the most professional guy we have, so. Dual Threat says, their coaches are terrible. After the Super Bowl, they gave it away embarrassing. They come back with less. Worse unproven coaches improving. Yeah, I mean, they need to get more experience. And the first thing that has to happen is Howie Roseman needs to let the coordinators just be themselves. And we need a coordinator that brings their own playbook, their own scheme into this offense or defense and say, hey, this is my playbook. If I fuck up this year, all of it's on me. You can have a collaborative effort with offensive assistants, defensive assistants for game planning. That's fine. Just stay out of the way. The front office just got to stay out of it, And I don't know if that's ever going to happen with Howie in the building. I don't know if it's ever going to change down the road. Yo, Rock says, I agree 500. That's what you have to do to win games. Run the ball, pressure QB. Is 500 in here? I don't know if he said 500 because Philly 500 was in here or because he said someone else is called 5. Oh, someone else called 500. Okay. I'm trying to see I don't know if he was in here. Sandy says, if we don't fix this shit, AJ is gone, but then again, Nick is too stupid, then he will be fired. I feel like if the Eagles lose one of these 2 games and then they lose and they go one and done, I feel like Nick will get fired. If the Eagles lose one of the next 2 games against Arizona or the Giants and they go one and done in the playoffs, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. Torvald says, next year, the Eagles will have a nice foundation at cornerback with Rodgers, Ringo, and Ricks. They need to draft a cornerback pretty early to add depth, but time to go with youth. Yeah, I'm open to getting rid of Slay next year. There's no doubt. I'm too open to it. Eli Ricks has shown some promise. Like I said, I don't know. With Matt Patricia, he's playing a lot better. With Desai, he really wasn't playing well. The Miami game was good. The Cowboys game was horrible against CD and inside, but I got to say, he's played pretty damn good the last 2 weeks. Pretty good. And that Isaiah Rodgers guy, and like I said, Keely Ringo is fucking awesome. But that Isaiah Rodgers guy, he put out a video on Twitter the other day, and it seems like he's getting ready. He's got this white custom Eagles helmet. He was catching some balls from the ball machine or something like that in his backyard. Really cool. Isaiah Rodgers could be a complete, it could be something there. I mean, he was ranked a pretty good cornerback last year. I think he play inside, could play outside, and he's a kick returner as well, so he could do double duty right there too. Let's see here. JB Gunny says, can't have a Super Bowl or bust season with rookie coordinators. No. It's nothing promising. That's the problem. I don't know what, like every week I feel like I'm looking at the same game I've been looking at certain times, but it's got to get fixed up. Duel says, they aren't okay at cornerback. No, they need a good cornerback. The second in the event, young guys full of. Well, yeah, I'm not saying they don't have a number one. I feel like they do have a number two right now. And nickel wise, I'm not really sure because it really depends what they do with Avonte Max on a $10 million cap hit next year, which I hardly doubt they're keeping him at that number right now. I don't know. Zach McPherson was supposed to be the backup to Avonte Max at nickel. He ended up getting hurt. So I still feel like, they got to go young at that position. They got to go young at linebacker. Depending on what goes on with Zach Cunningham, depending on what goes on with, I still think they need to draft a linebacker early would be nice. But I feel like it really just depends on, Shaq Leonard could be a big piece. I thought Shaq Leonard really showed his presence really well in that Giants game. Really enjoyed it. Thought that was cool. Chris Bryant says we could always fire Nick as a coach and give him some pom-poms, being that he's a better cheerleader than the coach. I feel like he's a better players coach than really trying to. I mean, if this is Nick's game plan, this is not good. And I feel like it 100% is. I mean, Dave Spadaro answered the question that what does this go around? Who calls the plays? Is it Nick Sirianni? And he said, yup, the entire game plan piggybacks around Nick Sirianni's game plan for the week. And that's, what they roll off of. And it pisses me the fuck off. Truly does. He says Slay, Maddox, and Ringo Dango. Yeah, if they keep Maddox next year, Oh, you mean for this year? Yeah, definitely. I'm not a fan of this bend don't break defense, but I mean, having Maddox back will give you at least some better coverage. Maddox can't sit out another game. I mean, he's got to get into football shape now. He hasn't played a game in months. You know what I mean? Like he's got to play. You can't sit him out for this game. And it sounds like there's optimism that he might be back, but this week, I don't know. He practiced. He's full practice this week, full practice last week for a few days. Lois, I'm getting Chip Kelly era vibes. Howie was blamed. Deshaun Jackson was blamed. It was Chip Kelly. Now we're hearing it's Hurts leadership 3 weeks ago, and no one was talking about Hurts. Dude, all right. Number one, read the article on who wrote it. Okay, the two guys that I can't stand when it comes to Eagles beat writers writing about the fucking Eagles because people just want to start shit. Elliot Shore Parks and fucking Jeff McClain are the two worst beat writers. Okay. Jeff McClain wrote that article. I read that article and said, holy shit, like, I can't believe shit like this. I mean, there's no way. And it was Jeff McClain. It's not like people just like to make shit up because everything's boring right now. They want the fans to start talking. They want to stir up shit. T said, we need a better cover safety. Blankenship should be in the box. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him in coverage. I don't even know if Reed's really a starting safety anymore, to be honest. I don't. I mean, for run support, he's great. Open field tackling, he's all right and good at times. But I feel like it's not good enough. I feel like he's not good enough at all. I don't know if he's a starting safety for this team. I really don't. There's a lot of things that question me. Even as a free, I don't care where he's at. But I think him more as definitely a contact safety, no doubt. So I agree. Ray says, what players coach? Someone that always looks for the good news. I mean, that's just being a coach. Should never touch a fucking playbook. Should never touch. Y'all need a Kyle Hamilton? Yeah. We haven't had a good safety since Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, really? We haven't had a good safety in years. And we don't have it. Right now, we don't have it. The number one guy, we don't have it. We don't have that moving piece. And that's why I want to sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson so badly this year, because we thought that, Javon Hargrave was the big signing that we lost, but it's really not. I think more it's Chauncey Gardner. Since Chauncey and Howie backed out of the deal, the Eagles were able to re-sign Bradbury because of the Chauncey signing not happening. That's why the Bradbury re-sign was like, it was surprising, but at the same time, he was kicked out. I mean, Chauncey he just took too long to really get something done. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Torville says, in retrospect, I wish we would have drafted Brian Branch over Nolan Smith. Yeah, Nolan Smith is not looking good. And they really didn't use him. Number one, Nolan Smith had an injury at training camp. He had an injury. He had like a shoulder injury. Okay, that's what happened with Nolan Smith. And they had him at Sam linebacker listed, but he was playing mostly special teams. And then has had some chances. Nolan Smith has got to be a linebacker. Nolan Smith has got to do. He needs to cross train, just like Sidney Brown should be cross trained from safety to nickel. I think Sidney Brown's playing pretty damn good too at times if he's not a bonehead. But I feel like Nolan Smith needs to be cross-trained. I feel like how Georgia used him as an off-ball linebacker, I feel like that's where you can get the most out of him right now. Not saying he should never be an edge rusher. I think due time when he puts on more weight, another offseason with the Eagles, I feel like there is something there. But they just really haven't. I mean, Desai really didn't play him that much this year either, Obviously, they got rid of Derek Barnett. It was a lot easier to get some stuff done. So, USA, what's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. It says, really surprised for nitpicking Reed Blankenship. He has the most picks on the defense. The scheme isn't good. Literally the most solid piece there. No, I mean, I think he's the highest graded player on the team. I think he's the most solid player on the team. It's just, I don't know if he's a future guy for us. I don't know. Is the scheme is he not coached the right way? I mean, the Darius Slayton touchdown was just like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. Like, he literally jogged. Against Slayton runs a fucking 4.3, 4.2, 4.2. Actually, he probably runs like a 4.2 something. There's just some things where it comes to his coverage, it's not fantastic. His tackling's great. But I don't know if he's a starting safety for us. We're just using him to how we're using him, and maybe the scheme isn't right for him. There's probably a lot of defensive positions are flawed because of this stupid fucking scheme. You're not. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's the truth. Chris Bryant, appreciate the super chat, by the way. I said appreciate it so much. As Chris Bryant says, Chauncey energy was so contagious. It's a great way. Hopefully, Shaq performs, keeps elevating his veteran, energizes. Revitalizes this defense. Yeah, I totally agree. Chauncey just had that pushback attitude. I like that in players. I feel like we don't have that with players in our defense. Who's like, besides Graham with his trash talk, and really, who's like the big leader for the defense? I mean, really, that's going to get these guys to smack somebody in the mouth. It's right. They really don't have anybody. Ryan Campbell says he's a first-round pick that doesn't play. We need to talk about that. Yeah, that's true. He's getting more playing time now than he was like weeks ago with Sean Desai at the helm. So, but, he probably just needs another year at this point. But they need to do more with him. He's got too much athletic ability. He's got way too much athletic ability right now. It's unfortunate. The Eagles, and obviously the statistics are going down with some of these defensive linemen. I understand Josh Sweat had 11 sacks. He's down to 6.5, 7 sacks for the year. There's not a good rotation. They don't stunt these guys ever, and they don't blitz. And that's a bigger problem. It's like having less talent, you got to be more creative, at least in the rotation. I mean, the perfect example is like, hey, I only have $100,000 to make this film, this movie that I've been wanting to make. But with less money, if you're given less money for a movie to make, you got to be more creative. You can't take you have to shortcut some things, but you have to make it look right. But when you have a lot of money, able to make a movie, you use CGI, you take shortcuts, you have bad dialogue, you don't hire the best actors and actresses, you don't, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's almost similar. But I feel like with less talent or with less, you're less flawed at positions because of this scheme. It's affecting a lot of positions that aren't getting the production that we know it has. We know that there's production. We know that they can have production at certain positions, but they don't help these guys at all. Just like how the Eagles aren't helping Hurts with a sustained run game with the right running back. It's almost the same shit. Jason R. the Pill says the question is, how can Nick and the Eagles contain Murray? I don't know. A spy? I mean, they need something. Because they've been horrible. They've been horrible all year on scrambling QBs. It'll be like 3rd and 15 and they give up a big play. It's really annoying at times, Rocksteady says, shut up about Nolan Smith. He's not good. He's not him. He's not ready. Well, with first-round picks, you got to give it 2 years. Jordan Davis, I gave it 2 years, and Jordan Davis is a beast, okay? You have to give it time. You have to give it time. You can't put it on 1 year. Plus, like I said, he was hurt. He missed a lot of valuable time. And the Eagles really didn't use him that much the first half of the season. What'd they do with Nolan Smith? Sean Desai didn't give him any opportunity at all. So I think that's part of it too. Ridiculous says, Shaq will be the leader. I listened to a podcast, the other Colts linebackers. They did an entire episode on him when the Colts cut him. That dude is a leader, and he will become more himself. Yeah, I think he's starting to come into his own now. I didn't think it was going to happen this early. Usually it takes a few games. But, man, I was pretty excited when he was making some tackles. He had like 6-7 tackles. He got a sack, too. He hasn't had a sack since 2020. I mean, that's how long it's been. I mean, 2 back surgeries, neck problems. I mean, it's really hard to get back from that. Came to the Eagles because of the relationship he has with Nick Sirianni. And, if, he's 28 years old, you can get a good couple years out of him, but I still feel like you have to do more. I feel like you still have to at least draft linebacker somewhat early. I just can't see them not doing it. Nolan Smith, I'm sorry, Nakobe Dean is still out. Nakobe Dean is still out right now. He's been hurt 3 times this year. 2 times on IR. 2 times on fucking IR. It's like, yeah, there probably is Nakobe Dean's probably a good talent, but like, you're not even available to play at this point. He's like, for Nolan Smith, I forgot about that. Nakobe Dean, I forgot about that dude. I know. Like, I don't even think about it. What's going on, Bryce? You got to think about this shit. SA with Super Chat, thank you so much, man. Says Blankenship is the only guy that wraps up tackles. I take him over Byard. Also, if we can get some pressure back, it would be look awesome. No, I get it. I think the most physical players we have defensively are Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, and from what I've seen, like I feel like Shaq Leonard is pretty damn physical too. But I think the top 2 are like Sidney Brown and Reed Blankenship, 100%. Appreciate the super, by the way. James Sidner, what's going on, man? He says Nolan Smith should be used like Greenlaw or Patrick Queen. Too much athleticism to be on bench by QB, etc. Coaching creativity. No, it's a 0, dude. It's totally a 0. I mean, just putting Nolan Smith as a spy, dude. Like, look what he did in preseason, like running down on a reverse. I think a 4-2 receiver running a reverse and caught him, and he got injured on that play. But I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that's why I don't want to waste him as just an edge rusher next year. They got to do more with him. Sidney Brown is cross-trained. That's what you were missing when Chauncey got hurt. When Chauncey didn't re-sign with the Eagles, that's what we were missing. We were missing that guy that could play multiple positions. And nickel was already a fucking problem. And they tried to experiment with James Bradbury playing inside earlier this year. It just didn't work. It did not work. And Bradley Roby is just like a body. I don't know. I don't think he's great. I don't think Bradley Roby's awesome. He's a veteran pickup, but I don't think he's doing much either. He can put him up. They line him up on the outside. He gets toasted. He line him up on the inside. There's some plays he makes, I guess, but it's nothing that's like so crazy. Torville says Blankenship, appreciate the super chat, by the way. Torville said Blankenship doesn't have good field for coverage at all. Man or zone, doesn't matter. Box safeties are basically a thing of the past. You need safety. Yeah, you need safeties that can do multiple things. I feel like you can't get one safety just so he does one thing well. And if you can only do one thing well, whether it's coverage or if it's like run support or being in the box, that's why we don't play in the box, because the scheme forbids us from doing it. And the coaches don't trust what we have. I mean, that's just what it is. EC1 says, I love 24 draft. You think since the defensive draft, you think we go offense, but you pair Reddick Sweat with Carter Smith and draft. They have to draft another defensive end. They have to go like another defensive end because Sweat's contract's going to end soon. Graham's probably going to retire after this year, maybe. And Graham's really not doing too much this year. He's getting some pressures. He's got a few sacks. He's not doing anything crazy this year. Cameron says, Joeyshakes, would you re-sign DeAndre Swift next season or draft Trey Benson? No. I would re-sign DeAndre Swift in a fucking heartbeat. In a heartbeat. 2-year deal. Get it done. You can't let go of a 24-year-old running back that has a 1,000-yard season. I'm going to be so upset if they let him go. I know the Eagles don't sign running backs. I get it. They don't sign running backs. They don't value the position at all. Obviously, they don't, because they still think that, I don't know. They're never realizing that DeAndre Swift is just better at times. And it's not even just him getting 1,000 yards. I don't even care about that. But it makes more of a point as a top 5, the 5th best running back in the NFL right now. And how many yards he would have had this year? I mean, for the regular season, of how many yards he would have had? He would have had like 1,500 yards this year. It wouldn't have shocked me. I mean, the first couple weeks he started, he had over 300 yards rushing. And that's only because, and that's how much they value Gainwell. When Gainwell was out for the Vikings game, they ran the fucking shit out of DeAndre Swift. That's how much that shows you how much they value Kenneth Gainwell. That shows you that Howie Roseman is saying, hey, Gainwell needs more reps. Gainwell needs to always have more reps than everybody else in this lineup. But why? You're already wasting Rashad Penny. They're never dressing him. Don't even think. They're never doing it. You know what I mean? DeAndre Swift would be like my number 1 re-sign this offseason. Number 1. My number 1 re-sign is DeAndre Swift. Get that shit done. Because really, at the end of the day, Boston Scott's gone. He's on a 1-year deal this year. And Kenneth Gainwell has 1 more year left on his contract. He's got 1 more year left. That's it. 24 is his last year of his deal. Swift needs to be in the building. He's got to be here. And they got to get another coordinator. And they got to get another defensive coordinator. These 2 coordinators have to be gone. And Howie needs to let go and hire some new blood that comes in with his own playbook and says, this is how I'm going to run this offense. We need something here. We need somebody with experience and reputation. I'm sorry, but if you're not going to do that next year, then this is going to be a waste of time. Next year was going to be a total waste of time for us to even be excited. Total waste of time. Because if they keep everything what it is going to next year, they're not going to learn from their mistakes. You think the Eagles are going to learn from their mistakes after this season? And if they keep everybody next year? No. It's going to be the same fucking circus that we've been seeing this whole year. It's just the truth, man. Nathan Hoffman says that was Howie's real mistake last year with no mid-year contracts for D. Too cheap. You get what you pay for. Howie hipster thrifting. No, the 1-year deal thing is okay for like a couple times you do it, but when you do it too much, it's like then you just have a bunch of fucking holes next year. I'm not worried about the cap situation. I think cap-wise will be fine. Because we're definitely still under. But they need to focus on getting some. And look, the past 3 drafts have been pretty damn good, I got to say. Okay. Really good. But they need to figure some shit out. They really have to figure out, like, they have to get some young talent in here. Don't just bandage up positions. Signing 1-year deals it's just bandaging positions, and it's how many times have they dipped in the free agency for linebacker? 4 times. Miles Jack, Zach Cunningham, Rashad Evans. I mean, Shaq Leonard. I mean, how many free agents are you going to dip into? It pisses me off because this defensive style is not benefiting what you have. You can't see what you have in your fucking defense when it comes to linebacker in general. Seriously, look what Duke Riley's doing with the fucking Dolphins right now. I mean, making tackles all over the fucking place. I mean, when LJ Fort left here, remember when LJ Fort he was a free agent from the Steelers. He fucking left here. They fucking cut him before the start of the season. I mean, and then he went to the fucking Ravens and played really well. I mean, TJ Edwards is balling out in Chicago, balling out. Look at what's his face from Arizona that we're going to see. Watch him fly around. He's been flying around that Arizona defense like crazy. Kaiser White. Look what he's doing. Look, I mean, every linebacker that's left here is like, you already know it's the scheme. You know it's the coaching. You know it's the scheming. You know it's the dictatorship that we have with the front office. We never put money into these positions, and this is the hit that we're taking. Don't just draft defensive linemen. Draft one guy. That's fine. Like, don't double down. Draft one defensive lineman. I'm fine with that. They still got to get a right tackle. They still got to do a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So I get it. You know, I totally get it. Rez says Miles Jack saw the defense and retired. Yeah, and then he came back to the Steelers. So it is what it is. Latham Mahia says it makes no sense that we have a $50 million QB that turn around and give him the OC with no experience. No, I don't think that's fair either. Like, it's a regressing year for Jalen Hurts. There's no doubt it's regressing. Regressing is a word that people take out of context. Oh, you're saying that he's not going to be good the rest of his career. No, I think he's a fantastic quarterback. I feel like they don't put him into a rhythm. They don't put Jalen Hurts into a rhythm. They pass too much with him. Way too much. And once that happens, mistakes are going to happen. So that's just what it is. DB says Hurts is a turnover machine. Here's your problem. Let me tell you something. Like, I love Jalen Hurts. And this is a shit year with barely a fucking run game this year to help him. I know what Jalen Hurts could do. And Jalen Hurts could put the team on his back. So if he's our problem, I love the problem that we have with him because I know what he is as a quarterback. Simple as that. It does not bother me. It bothers me that these games, they pass too much, but it bothers me that they don't sustain a run to balance out the offense. And once they run the ball, he gets to a good rhythm, and then he starts completing a lot of good passes. And that's what they have to do. And when they don't do that, that's what happens. Yeah, Joey, people really see Brian Johnson as head coach material in 24. I must be in the twilight zone. Yeah, I mean, the news came out like really when we were going through KC, the Bills, Miami, and all these other teams. Like, the news came out that, Brian Johnson's going to be a hot commodity as the number one coach that's going to get all the phone calls to be a head coach candidate. It's like, I mean, look, if I'm just going to say, if at this point, if Jonathan Gannon can get a head coaching gig, then I could probably think that Brian Johnson's going to get a head coaching gig. World Tour Aces are not using Swift. I don't think he's coming back. I hope he's back Philly, but how we don't pay running backs. That's true. That's true. It's an opinion. Like, I don't know if he's going to come back, but it's hard to not. I mean, look, even if he wants to stay, and the Eagles say, no, we don't want you, then that's on them, Just because if if Swift doesn't resign, it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to be here. It could mean that Howie's like, no, we don't need you. So Nate says they asked Jalen about Alex Tanny, QB coach, right? It went nowhere. Yeah, it was just one of those like, oh, he's been around the room, and it was just one of those like PR statements. It was one of those like, oh, he's here and he's a great guy, and that was it. How would you assess the play of Byard? I don't know. Like he's okay at times. I feel like he's getting better, but I'm not wow. He's not any wow factor to the defense right now. He's not any wow factor right now, unfortunately. I don't take too much out of it. Karen says, I mean, they put him in position to play hero ball, not to shed accountability from Hurts, but there's no motion. It's just shotgun 30 times. Yeah, I know. It doesn't work. It's any quarterback that's throwing, it's gonna throw that much, it's gonna have issues. It doesn't matter who it is. DB said, what do you guys need to do is go out and get another washed up player like you have done all year. Well, we've had injuries all year. What are they supposed to do? Not get anybody? The Eagles have been hurt since the first game of the season. They've been hurt since training camp. They've been hurt all year. All year. They've been hurt. All the time my head says, Hurts is so good player, you should only be dropping back 28 times max. Anything over that is too many coaches setting up him failure. Yeah, I get it. That's why I can't put too much on Hurts. I can't put too much on him. If he's forced to throw the ball, he's throwing the ball, obviously, but if you have no run game, forget it. He's not going anywhere. Moore said, Bradbury and Slay leave. How would it affect us in the salary cap? I don't know. But Howie will work out the numbers regardless. But I want them both gone. I have no use for both of them not being here. You can't keep Bradbury as a backup for the money he's getting paid. So that's just what it is. Big D said, I honestly think the GM and the owners took over everything. Nick is lying to us to hide this bullshit. Howie is the puppet master. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. When I hear Sirianni say, oh, we ran the offense the same way this year as we have the last couple seasons, like really? Like there's this shit that just makes, that's just what happens. We said the Chiefs lost the Raiders. The Lions played poor versus mash unit of the Vikings. I think when the NFL went to a 17-game regular season schedule, each game became less important. Yeah. I don't really care about them extending it or lessening the games, whatever the case may be with that. DB says, who is not hurt? Oh, unfortunately, it affects every team differently. It's not just because it's like some teams benefit off of injuries, some teams don't. That's just how it is. It's not my excuse, but when I say, hey, they don't draft a position and they just go after free agents constantly for that position, it's because they didn't fix that. They bandaged it up. They bandaged it up with 1-year deals. I mean, that's all they did. So that's not every team is going to, everyone's hurt, but some teams don't benefit from injuries. So has Andy Reid lost the locker room Christmas Day tire ads on national TV? Chris says Slay needs to go coach a high school after the season so he can go home every day and play with his kids. Yeah, I'm already been done with him since that stupid podcast thing that he said. I was already done with him since that statement. So JB says, so are we back to fire Howie? Because as long as Howie's still here, he'll have input. Well, no, I don't want to fire him at all. The problem is he needs to let go and let the coaches coach. He needs to hire new blood that can't be controlled. That's what he needs to do. He needs to hire 2 coordinators that are going to run their offense or their defense and let them do their thing and let it be on them. Obviously, if you're losing 4 or 5 games straight, then yeah, front office should front office needs to get involved and say, hey, what's going on here? This is not good. Lurie and Howie should not have any input on anything besides Howie should have just input on what he does with this roster. And that's it. Being collaborative with the coaching staff on the needs and wants of this team between free agency and the draft, and just do it that way. Speedy says, I'm going to say it. Some other fans are too positive to the point of counseling these players. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, if you're literally blaming it on the players 100%, like, come on now. I mean, you've seen how this team has played all year. Chris Dog says, "Hi Joey, do you have any updates what's going on between Nick Siri arguing on the sideline?" Nah, there's no update on it. It happened and that's it. I don't really take it too seriously. Nick said he was a little too tense in the game, I guess, or whatever. But it's not a good look. I mean, that it's on TV, it's not a great look. If I feel like it's player versus player kind of arguing, I'm fine with that because it's just getting their shit out in the open. That's fine. AJ Brown, the AJ Brown's a cancer, and what he said that him and Jalen Hurts had a little thing on the sideline. And look what happens after that. He has six games, 125 plus yards receiving. It just happens that way. But I don't take too much into it. And, when it comes to the players and coaches, when it happens a couple times during the game, I don't know. I didn't really like it too much, but I don't know. We're going to find out the next couple games. We're going to find out. I'm saying this right now. If the Eagles lose one of these last two games and they are one and done in the playoffs, Nick's got to go. Nick's going to go. Even if it's not Nick's fault and he's just like having to – I mean, what's the point of having a coordinator if he's not going to be his own coordinator? What's the point? There's no point in any of this. Like, Nick's like, I want to run this scheme and I want you to run it for me. And then when Matt Patricia takes over for the defense, he's like, oh, he's running Sean Desai's playbook. I'm like, no, he's not. He's running your playbook. He's running what you wanted. You wanted this scheme going into this year. And you hired a guy that's going to follow direction. You hire some defensive assistant that was going to take the money to be a defensive coordinator and get a pay raise and run your fucking defensive scheme that nobody fucking wants here anymore. Simple as that. Kyle across to Joey, get these guys off the ledge. Don't join them. We aren't peaking, but how long can we wait? We want confirmation, but this is a week-to-week league. No, I get it. It is a week-to-week league, but nothing has changed. What has changed? Tell me what has changed. You're switching play calling on defense, which isn't that much, but I feel like Patricia has done a good job. Hasn't done a bad job the last couple weeks. If I didn't give a shit about this team, I wouldn't be talking about it. Like, if I didn't think they had no talent, they have plenty of talent. The defense is just what it is, and I feel like they could do just enough. This offense has every opportunity to put 35 plus, 40 plus points on the board, but they can't sustain drives. They don't run the ball enough. Too many predictable plays. Eight plays that they only play in their playbook. They do these little moments where they pick some play out of their back pocket that we've never seen. Like, it's supposed to fucking shock us. It's 2 1,000-yard receivers, 1,000. You're going to have 1,000-yard running back, and this is what you look like. Like, there's something internally fucking wrong. It's just internally bad. Douglas says, Denard Wilson leaves and our secondary goes from best to worst. Ravens secondary goes from worst to best. At least we go to the Simon Patricia and Doofus League. Oh, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we don't know what Denard Wilson was. We don't know what he was going to do here. Like, we don't know what Denard Wilson, if Denard Wilson like got was promoted to defensive coordinator, we don't know what we're going to get. When he goes to another team, I don't know what the difference is going to be. When he's here, I feel like he's just going to get controlled. Like, I feel like any coach it's not fair. It's not fair at all. I think it's total bullshit. And you're wasting all your talent, all your money. Why make all these moves? Why make trades? Why do all this shit if all of your positions are going to be flawed because the scheme is over the talent? The scheme is over not using the talent, each player to their best, knowing their strengths and their weaknesses. I think that's what hurts the most out of it. David says hire Frank Reich and keep Matt Patricia, but their scheme. And the thing is, it's crazy because we did analytics. Even the Super Bowl year, we ran analytics offensively, but the difference is they made adjustments. That's the difference. The adjustments were there. We're not making adjustments. Yeah, 10 passes in a row. I totally believe that. When the Eagles have a chance to put a team away, they pass the fuck out of the ball. They throw the kill shot. They didn't throw the kill shot downfield last game, which I was shocked over it. They didn't do that on a first or a second and short, which is just a fucking waste. So DB said, y'all have a good one, Joe. Later. Joey's the real. I appreciate DB. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Rich, my choice of Eagles DC in 24 is current Cowboys second coach Al Harris. At least give him an interview. Yeah, he's definitely gonna have a lot of attention going into the next season, no doubt. If the Eagles keep both coordinators next year, the season's over. It's gonna be done. There's because if the Eagles get into these close games next year and they win a lot of close games next year, I'm gonna say the same shit. It's gonna fall apart sooner or later. I'm telling you. It's not going to be good. I've never felt like that ever. I've never felt like that about a team. If they go into next offseason, don't fire any of these coaches, and Howie doesn't let off the fucking gas and let these coordinators, let them hire some new blood to come inside the building and change their ways, it's not going to be a good sign. Kyle O'Cross says a coach has got to chill. Get these guys having fun again. Coaching in the pros is easier when you got good vibes. Today's NFL, it's not the 90s anymore. Vibe is important regardless of the money. No, it's true. And I don't think they've been having fun. I don't think they've been having fun at all. Nathan says, yup, scheme over the team, how he built, playing to our weakness. They value the scheme over the fucking players. And that's the word. That's Chip Kelly all over again. That's what that is. Doesn't matter who you use. It doesn't matter who's on the field. This scheme is going to work, and I'm going to keep trying it. Even Nick said that after they lost against the Cowboys, he had the excuse of saying, just because, it's just because we do something, that doesn't work, I'm not going to stray away from not doing it again. It's just you've been doing it every game. Lonely says, Howie isn't calling plays. I hope there's an understanding of delegating the play calling to the coaches who are doing a play calling. Howie should share the analytics with the coaches. Oh, is it analytics, or is Howie saying, hey, I want to use more of this? I think we should do more of this with that player. I don't know what you do with the game plan, but I want Kenneth Gainwell to have more snaps every game. Stupid shit like that. I hope that's not the case. But it wouldn't shock me. Branson, I'm just so tired of the lack of transparency, the way the fan base is treated. I understand saving face to point, but $300 plus for a ticket, $200 for these fucking Kelly Green jerseys. Sorry. No. That's why I almost went to a game this year. I haven't went to a game this year. I didn't go to a game this year. Sorry, I might have to sneeze again. No. Sorry. Yeah, it's just it's a lot of money to go to football games. It's not fucking cheap. It's not cheap. And if you don't have any connections, it sucks. It sucks. It's a lot of money, dude. It's a lot of money to go to games. I usually go to one every single year. $15 for a damn hot dog. I don't doubt it, man. Branson, over $1,000 day to take the family of 4 to see an Eagles game. The amount of support we show, and we're treated like we're stupid. Yeah, I mean, we know what's going on with this team, and they're just like they try to make us feel better from these fucking statements. When you lose 3 games in a row, saying the same shit every week, I don't want to hear the same shit from Jalen Hurts about the standard and this. I mean, somebody call out the coaching staff. I mean, somebody do it. Nobody has done it to the media yet. I'm shocked nobody has done it to the media yet. AJ Brown probably is like one of those guys that's like, okay, he didn't talk to the media on game day. He didn't talk to the media the other day. I mean, he literally hasn't talked to the media at all yet. He doesn't fucking care. I mean, he doesn't want to. Not he doesn't care. Like, he just doesn't care to, because what's the point? What's the point of being like sitting in front of the fucking media and being like, nah, I'm just going to not even do that. What's the point? Joey's allergic to analytics. True. Appreciate it, Drew. Everybody's sick, by the way. Everybody's sick that I know. Everybody's sick. Maurice says, I really think they're going to use the run game in the playoffs. Dude, I'm tired of hearing this from fans too, and it's nothing against you or anybody else that says this, but for the people that are like, oh, they're playing like this on purpose so they can use these different plays in the playoffs. They're gonna use Rashad Penny. They're gonna do all this different shit. No. It's bad if they don't showing us any promise they're gonna use anything that makes sense right now, play calling wise. Ego Robot says, Jalen Hurts is the man with 1,000 sayings, and it gets annoying. Sometimes it does. It's just like, okay, like, you're not, we want to play up to the standard. We're not playing that right now. And he puts a lot of the blame on himself, and that's fine. It's a quarterback that you have. So, Johnson, coaches in front office are wasting last year or years of Kelsey, BG, Lane, Flesh, and it's a damn shame, Joey. It is. Like, just think about it. Kelsey's going to leave next year. I mean, I don't see Kelsey staying here. And to be honest, Cam Jurgens has played pretty good at right guard. He's played really good at right guard. Might have another fucking situation where we have to find another center now next year. Lonely says, the Eagles play need improvement when they were 10-1. The problems they are having now should have been addressed in week 3. If they should have been addressed after the Jets loss. They should have been addressed after that game, at least. Ridiculous. I'm sick of these coaches in their kindergarten bullshit, putting square pegs in a round hole. You have to earn the big plays. The QB draws on third down, the bubble screen passes, the shit that's just like, and then throwing this kill shot downfield, not caring if it's Quez Watkins. Just stop, dude. Zacchaeus should be on the field all the time at this point. Look what Zacchaeus is doing downfield blocking. I mean, he's showing more heart than anybody, really. I mean, it's crazy. Not more heart than anybody, but you know what I mean. You see it. You see it on tape. You see it on film. Richie says, Russell Wilson bench possibly cut. Did the Eagles dodge a bullet, or the Eagles O-line would have been better? I think they dodged the bullet 100%. They definitely 100%. Yeah, for the amount of draft capital you would have had to give up for him, come on now. The amount of draft capital you would have given up for Russell Wilson and paying him, no fucking. Yeah, it was a dodged bullet, no doubt. Where he says, who is the best free agent we should go after this season? The best? I don't know. I won't say best because I don't really know a lot of guys that are free agents. I know some, but I feel like they should go after that defensive end from Carolina. Patrick Queen would be good too. Yeah, Patrick Queen's on the last year of his deal. Patrick Queen would be a good one. If you're not going to draft a linebacker early, then fucking sign somebody. I'm not even kidding. Then sign somebody at this point. But who's the edge? Yeah, I forgot his name. The edge guy from Carolina. Fuck's his name? I keep forgetting his fucking name. Let me know what his name is. I keep forgetting. The guy on the edge. I totally forgot. Patrick Queen, Daniel Jones, Patrick Surtain. No, they would have to give up. Yeah, I mean, one of those second round picks is going to have to be given up. Yeah, Brian Burns. There you go. Yep. Brian Burns. Brian Burns would be one that I would go after. Definitely. But you can't go into free agency and just start spending money and just filling up. You need to be really careful with that. I mean, the drafting is good. So, and you have 2 second-round picks. You have the Saints second-round pick, which should be a very high pick as well. Okay, so, they got to be careful with that shit as well. You're not Surtain is like, I don't know. If they just want to say screw it, we're not going to have a high draft pick for one of the top cornerbacks, and we don't want to trade up that far and give up more capital. So let's just go trade for somebody. It will probably cost us a lot less. I don't know. So, Thon said the offense looks good when the plays are scripted. After those plays are done, Johnson has no clue what to call. I don't know. There's when I see a rhythm with the run game, Jalen Hurts can run play action, and you can only run play action when you have a successful run game. A couple of weeks ago, they were running play action like every single snap, like play action, play action, play action. It's like, dude, do you guys know how to run an offense? Like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Fangio, yeah, 100%. And the crazy thing is, when I watch Miami against the Cowboys, Fangio is almost running the same shit that we were, but they're just coached differently. Fangio is doing like that soft zone coverage that we do, but guys are aggressive. Guys could tackle. I mean, looked really good. And he blitzes a lot. And that's a whole nother thing that they do. Kyle Crossan says, real talk, we love this team, hands down. Nobody loves it but us. Facts, but I think our window is just open. Name a former Eagles QB that says they were better than Hurts in their first 3 years. No, I can't really say anybody. What I saw Jalen Hurts do, even in that Cowboys game when he was he got hit in his legs, he was crawling on the ground, he was fighting himself to get back up. I mean, the amount of shit that he did, it's because of Jalen Hurts. You're not winning those games against the Cowboys without Jalen Hurts. You're not winning those games. You're not going to Arrowhead. And yeah, people are, KC sucks now. It is not easy to win an Arrowhead. And the Bills, Miami was a good game. So without Jalen Hurts, you probably lose 4 or 5 of those games. Simple as that. That's the value that he has. Yeah, Wink Martindale's great. Wink Martindale's a very good defensive coordinator. He just doesn't have a lot of great pieces on that defense. Martindale's very aggressive. I like Wink Martindale a lot. If Howie Roseman can say, hey, I need to just let go and bring in some new blood, some coordinators that bring in their own fucking style and just let them coach, let them fucking coach. That's it. Shalot Sharp says, what do you think about Keely Ringo's ceiling potential? So far, it looks really good. So far, I think since Matt Patricia has taken over, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of young talent kind of rise up a little bit. And Ringo has been probably the biggest surprise, to be honest with you. I think there's a good promise right now that he could be the number 2 corner here. Could be the number 2 corner. The last 2 weeks, he hasn't given up a pass. I don't think the last 2 weeks. Yes, he was thrown into that second Cowboys game, but he was thrown to the fire and they didn't really play that well. But with preparation, him being with the defense, I'm telling you right now, Slade comes back, you have to bench Bradbury. You got to do it. So Christian Vice says, can't believe we got Covey involved on the offense. Yeah, look, in the first half of the Giants game, I noticed that they were distributing the ball. They were trying to get to Julio Jones. They were doing some different things. Covey, I want to see if Covey can actually be one of those situational type wide receivers for us in the future. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know where he's going to be, but that screen pass to him was interesting. Definitely. I think you can use him for that. No doubt. I think you can, but you can't just run the same play. This is the problem. They will run the same plays when certain players come back into that 54-yard return was just fantastic. He's we really hated him beginning of the season. I mean, he just wasn't panning out. And then it just got better. He just got better over time. He just got a lot better over time. Thomas and Joe, we all need Bradbury needs to be benched for Ringo, especially when Darius comes back, but they won't because of money, I think. Well, yeah, you have a guy getting paid $12 to $13 million and you're sitting on the bench. It's not great. Use Bradbury for red zone. I don't fucking know. And he even sucks at that. But his name has been getting called for weeks. And he hasn't done much of anything. Getting burnt every single time. There says Calcaterra also has 2 catches. Covey got 1. That's some good to take out in the Giants game, and Jalen fucking hurts. Yeah, dude. I know. Calcaterra's just been injured. He's been injured like 3 times this year. He's been injured way too much. Way too much. It was like a concussion. That was like 2. He was out like 2 weeks for that. So Calcaterra, I don't know. Future wise for him, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with the Zach Ertz situation right now. Like Zach Ertz hasn't even signed to a fucking team yet. I don't know what's going on with him right now. It's a whole nother situation. I don't know what's going on. James says Eagles not utilizing linebacker safeties aggressively. It has to be a lesson learned going to next. Oh yeah, 100%. They're not. These linebackers don't play downhill. These safeties don't play. They don't play like they want to hit somebody in the mouth. Like they defend their area and they tiptoe around people and get pushed around. That's all they do. That's all they do. Nate says Hurts could have been better could be better while he's back. They're waiting for these routes to open. Could pump fake. Yeah, but it's not going to work all the time. But development of these routes are horrible. They've been horrible for weeks. So JC says Sirianni lost the locker room for being so stupid. He hasn't lost them yet, but it's getting there. If he like I said, if he loses one of these last 2 games. And he literally is one and done in the playoffs. I think he's fired. I think he's gone. Maurice says, this might sound crazy, but what if Bill Belichick comes here and is with Matt Patricia and this can be the new dynasty of New England? Yeah, the problem with that is they don't want a coach that has ego. They're not going to want a coach that has pushback because Bill Belichick is a pushback type of coach. He wants the control. And the Eagles are not going to let that happen because this is how Doug got fired. Doug got fired because, Doug wanted to hire new blood outside the organization, and he was forced to promote. He was forced to promote from within yet another year. And as soon as and that was the rumor, as soon as Doug wanted to hire new blood, they got rid of him. They fire your Super Bowl winning head coach. And I'm telling you, Jeffrey Lurie will pick Howie Roseman over his Super Bowl winning head coach. So getting rid of Sirianni will be no issue. Because Sirianni is going to sit there. Sirianni is getting controlled, but it's only going to last so long. Unless they win a Super Bowl this year. It's only going to last so long to where Sirianni is going to say, okay, like, I think we need to change some things around, and they're going to be like, you're fired. That's what it's going to be. Really, when we went back to the draft, like this past year, even last year, like when you saw Howie and Nick like collaboratively sitting there comfortable in like the draft room and like even the press conferences after the first round of the draft, like they seemed like they were so comfortable with each other that there wasn't that big control factor to it. But I guess we were fucking wrong. Drew says Trotter for DC. Oh God, I would love it. I think the reason why he can't do it is because like he just doesn't have the patience to like deal with millionaire type players. Like kind of like with Deion Sanders. Like Deion Sanders doesn't want to coach in the NFL because he doesn't want to coach a bunch of millionaire fucking football players. He feels you don't get the best, especially in today's day and age. You don't get the best out of a lot of players that get paid a lot of money. Players will not give a shit because they have all this money. And when you coach guys in college, it's different because they can come from horrible backgrounds, and you can really drive people. You can really coach people up to be better, not only better people, but better players, and really get to the goal that you need to go. You know what I mean? So that, I think that's a huge thing with Trotter not probably would take the job. I wouldn't doubt it, but I don't think he would last as a coach because he just has he would have a biggest temper. He wouldn't be able to handle it. Probably not. Saturno would get fired 8 games. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, not because he can't coach, because his temper, and because I don't think he has patience to coach a bunch of millionaires. That's how I take out of it. Jay says, as long as Nick is good boy and follows orders, he will off or without a Super Bowl. Yeah, that's how it is right now. That's what it seems right now. It's unfortunate. I don't want it to be this way, but this is what we're in right now. Ryan says, I'll be at the game. Can't wait to see they book Gannon. Hey, you got tickets for the Cardinals game? That's great. That's awesome. I hope you have a good time. Hopefully you're not going to be in a bad mood after that game. Hopefully not. McRib says, in the playoffs, start Slay, Maddox, and Ringo. Perfect. Getting Maddox back is going to be huge. I mean, shit. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I mean, let's just be funny right now. Imagine if the Eagles actually make it to the NFC Championship game this year. Just imagine if they actually get to that game this year. All this shit going on this year, and they actually pull it off and get there and win that game. Philly says, met Mike Tomlin. No. Mike Tomlin won't happen. Mike Tomlin's been with the Steelers for years. So you know how much control he has as a head coach. But could be wrong. Lois, Bill Belichick's type of coach. You ask him what he needs from the Eagles to come here and win a Super Bowl. Sue said, be a miracle. I wonder how different they'll look in the playoffs, but I'm not going to get too overboard about it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, I mean, they're going to look way different. Oh, they're going to do things that we've never seen before. They're going to play, their plays are going to come out of their back pocket like crazy. KO the super chat, thank you so much, man. It says, just got on, Joey. How are you doing, bro? I just want this team to be well-oiled machine against Gannon's Cardinals. Just give me one damn game. I know. And even Sirianni said some shit the other day on radio and said, I want him to be miserable when he comes back to Philly. I want him to be miserable. And, it's all fun in games, I guess, with him and Gannon. I've always wanted him to be successful, but, I don't want him to be successful on Sunday. I want him to be miserable. And, the fans are going to boo the fuck out of him. Well, it's well-deserved at this point. It's well-deserved. Let's see. Jay says, appreciate the super chat, by the way. Jay said, Jim Harbaugh is the Draymond Green energy. I don't think that fits well with the Eagles. Yeah. Well, he's an emotional coach. I mean, he's an emotional guy. There's a lot of rumors of him going to L.A., the Chargers right now. There's rumors about Belichick going to the Chargers, Harbaugh going to the Chargers. Torville says, how we have been with the Eagles for a close couple of decades. What other team keeps front office guys that long? Larry values his relationship with them more than coaches. It's what it seems like. You could be right on that. Could be right. We got Keith on with the super chat. Did not say anything, but thank you so much for the super. Much appreciated so much. Torville says, hold on, wrong one. Torville says, we could see the team perfectly like the 2011 Giants or whichever year that was. The city would be fire. You're talking about when they went 8-8? You talking about the Giants Patriots Super Bowl when the Giants were 8-8 and the Patriots were undefeated that year? If that's what you're talking about. Mick Rip says, what do you think about Matt Patricia? I mean, he's not running his own defense. I mean, he's just taking over play calling. I mean, that's all he's doing. But I feel like he's I feel like he's done better the last 2 weeks than Desai has done for a lot of games this year. I feel like it is somewhat of an upgrade. I mean, we have given up some big plays, but I feel like we're getting more. I think our run defenses. I feel like we're getting better fits. They're not perfect, but I feel like the fits are a little bit better. I feel like they still got to blitz more. They're still a little too passive for me. But I feel like I feel like it is good. It's not horrible. I want to run more stunts and do some more things. I think, it's tough for a guy to just walk in and start play calling. It's not easy. Yes, he's done it for years, but with a roster like this, and he's got a completely different job now that he probably didn't think he was going to be playing, calling plays for the Eagles defense this year. So, you know what I mean? Oh, by the way, I want to show you guys, I got a new watch. My father got me a brand new Philadelphia Eagles watch for Christmas, and it was actually really nice. I want to show you if you see it. If it focus, can you put? It's really nice. Really nice. I have to turn the things, but yeah, just got it. And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah. By the way, I hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas. And it was a good week for the Eagles. Look, besides all the other bullshit, it was a good week for the Eagles, really. 49ers lost, Cowboys lost. I mean, it was a good week for us. I mean, at the end of the day, it was pretty damn good. Rogue says, did you know that Landon Dickerson got a flamethrower for a random gift on Christmas for all line gifts? Cam Jurgens got it as a gift. What? Really? Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I don't know where he got it. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know where he got it. NFL show. I don't know where he got it, actually. I think he got it from like a certain company. Invicta, I think. From their website, probably. EC says, I got 2 Hurts jerseys, Kelsey jersey, Eagles blanket, Hurts shirt. Damn, you got all Eagle shit for Christmas? Damn. Oh, they are online. Okay. Yeah, I own another Invictus watch that I have a blue watch, like a bluish type watch. But I opened this shit and I was like, damn, it came in a really cool, like fancy box and everything. It was actually pretty cool. Watch New Heights on Debts on Flamethrower. Oh, it's on that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, guys, that's the name of the game right now. Like, so what is it, Wednesday? So we're gonna try and stream. We're gonna stream on Friday in a couple days. We'll stream again. We'll talk about obviously the Cardinals. We have a 1:00 p.m. game on Sunday. Fucking thank God. I'm tired of these late fucking games. I can't stand the amount of prime. I mean, especially when your team is playing fucking god awful at times. Like, I don't want another primetime game. I really don't. So we're playing at 1 p.m., which is great. So it's an early day at least. Thank God. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so we're going to stream on Friday. We'll have the shakedown Saturday. We'll obviously have the live play-by-play on Sunday. And we'll be doing our thing. Phoebe says, hey, Joey, finally made it back. Hope you had a great Christmas. I'm feeling like something great is about to happen to our birds. Glad your dad is doing better. Take care. I appreciate it so much, man. Yeah, my father's doing a lot better. He's great. He's actually really great now. Last month was just a fucking so stressful month. I couldn't even focus on the Eagles. It was really tough. I was at the hospital like all day, like every day, the last month. It was really nuts. So, Jay says, not gonna lie, if we hire good old Jimmy Harbaugh, the memes for top tier. Man, AT says, man, our defense just maybe will look so much better with Slay, Max, and Cunningham. Yeah, Cunningham's coming back. I don't want to see Nicholas Morrow. I'm just done. I don't want to see. I want to see Zach Cunningham coming back, and Shaq Leonard playing really well. Getting Avonte Maddox back is going to help so much. And God, please let Keely Ringo be the number 2 corner. Nate says, "Don't crap out on us like Jakeem." What are you talking about? Don't crap on you. What are you talking about? Rogue says Jason Kelsey talked about the gifts on his New Heights. Oh, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched New Heights in weeks. I haven't really watched it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. For me, like last year, I watched it a lot. I watched it a good amount of times this year, but I'm like tired of these player podcasts now. I'm like tired of it. I've watched so many. Some of them have made me happy. Some of them have like, just pissed me off. We've seen some this year. Antonio Holmes says more Nolan Smith at off-ball linebacker. You ain't kidding, bro. You ain't kidding. Yeah, it has definitely got a cross train, no doubt. Definitely cross train. So, yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I'll have a video out tomorrow. Same old stuff, different day. And appreciate the 168 are in the chat. Appreciate everybody that stuck around today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure you hit the like button. It does help out the channel a lot. And yeah, we'll have videos out tomorrow. And yeah, be doing the same thing we normally do all week. So we'll be streaming Friday. I'll be streaming Friday. We'll stream again on Friday, and then yeah, we'll do our thing. So hope you guys had a good holiday. I hope your work week's going well if you are off or whatever. And yeah, definitely have a happy new year as well. So, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your night. Remember, Shakes Web, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.